This video is sponsored by Casetify. More on that later. Hello everyone, today I'm going to explain to you what's going on in the internet, because it's too confusing to understand. The biggest streamers on the internet right now, from Hasanabi to Moist Critical to Pokimane, are at odds right now over the morals of streaming on the newest up-and-coming streaming platform called Kick. Now, on one hand, you have creators saying that Kick was created out of a necessity for gambling. It has strong ties to stake.com, which is an online crypto casino, and it will continue to be a pipeline for gambling addiction among Kick's most underaged audience. Not good. But on the other hand, you have creators coming out and saying, well, how is Kick any different from Twitch, a site owned by Amazon, which is a massive corporation that is the pinnacle of unethical consumerism in the United States? Well, I'd say take a step back and let's look at the story and see how we got here, and hopefully we can come to a little bit more of a concrete conclusion about the whole thing. Oh, and before we start, make sure you hit the subscribe button. A lot of new people here, like 50% of you don't subscribe to me, so if you want to see what's going on, hit the subscribe button, hit the bell, do all the crap. I don't know. I don't care. Now, towards the end of 2022, Twitch made an announcement that they were officially banning unlicensed gambling sites on their platform. It was clear that Twitch was fostering a culture of streamers promoting fun, flashy gambling games to their young audiences, and as we know, gambling addictions are a growing and unsafe problem. 1% of the US population has an unhealthy addiction to gambling, which is also the addiction that has the highest suicide attempt rate, up to 20%. Now, don't get me wrong, Twitch is very, very far from a perfect site. They did not fully ban gambling on their site. They just prohibited unsafe slots, roulette, and dice gambling sites that are unlicensed in the United States. For a lot of these games, there are actually rumors that streamers work with the gambling sites so they have better odds at the game while they sell the product, the gambling game, to their young fans who will never actually make money from any of these predatory games. Of course, online casino gambling games look fun when you're winning a lot of money, but when your audience goes to play them and suddenly they're not winning back the same amount of money, that's where our problems happen. Now, I know this is obvious, but casino games, especially those online, are created in order to make money for the website, not you. Which means despite whatever odds you hear, whatever stories you hear of people who got lucky and won crazy money on these sites, the house always wins. And even if you win, your friend that you get into the game, he loses. And so on until you're promoting it to an audience of thousands of kids. Now, sports betting specifically is a parasitic vice, and it has been proven to start unhealthy addictions for a lot of people. Now, that doesn't mean that gambling isn't fun or that you can't spend your own money and gamble, but it is a scam. And you should know that it's a scam. Despite whatever debates are going on right now, we should do all that we can to prevent children from streamers that want to make money off of gambling while also scamming their young audience base into thinking that gambling is a fun and good way to make money. Now, this ban on Twitch is still a big win for the streaming community because it keeps younger people safer on Twitch's site, despite the fact that shortly after, Twitch had a huge partnership with DraftKings, a sports betting site, and this is still shown on Twitch's website. They don't mind promoting it if it's licensed, as long as it's Sports Kings or DraftKings or whatever. The bottom line is it's better, it's not good enough. So Twitch does this gambling ban, and very quickly a new streaming site by the name of Kick shows up. So a lot of these streamers who aren't allowed to play these casino games anymore on Twitch are now leaving and joining this new streaming site that coincidentally allows these unlicensed sites to be streamed. Now, it turns out that Kick actually has strong ties to one of these unlicensed gambling sites that was banned on Twitch. It's a huge crypto online casino website called stake.com, and it turns out that Kick is actually partially owned and backed by the co-founders of stake.com, along with a popular streamer, Trainwreck TV, who happens to be very popular in the gambling category. Trainwreck was previously a non-owner advisor to Kick, but now claims that he is the third largest owner of Kick. Oh, and I forgot to mention, Kick happens to look very similar to Twitch. So now we start to see how the owners of this gambling site might have an interest in creating a streaming platform where these unlicensed gambling games can thrive a little bit more. And not just stake.com, but any unlicensed gambling site you want to run. This site was basically promoted as a streaming site that doesn't have the harsh TOS rules that Twitch was putting on their streamers. Now, almost anything could go on Twitch, and so streamers who were doing things on Twitch that, you know, weren't allowed anymore, like gambling, are now going to move over to Kick. And on Kick, streamers can not only partner with specific gambling sites, but we also learn that they make even more money than they previously did on Twitch through their subscribers. On Twitch, you only make 50% of every single subscriber. Every $5, you only get $2.50. But on Kick, they start offering this unheard of percentage to people who decide to come stream on their website instead. For every $5 subscription, you now get a 95% cut, which is of course leagues better than the 50-50 business model that Twitch has. The fact that creators on Twitch only get 50% of every $5 they make has and will always be absurd. So it's overall a good thing when a new streaming service shows up to give streamers a better deal than Twitch is offering. Now, most people probably know this, but as a platform, Twitch itself has never actually been profitable. Of course, because Amazon owns it, it won't be shutting down anytime soon. But even with Twitch's insanely greedy cut that they take from streamers, their costs are way too high to run the site. It's more expensive than you'd expect to run a live streaming platform that doesn't make money from regular videos like YouTube does. YouTube's always profiting off of their insanely infinite amount of YouTube videos that are making ad revenue on their site, so they can afford to start putting more money into YouTube streaming, but Twitch doesn't have that, and they don't seem like they will anytime soon, and so they're not profitable, but they are still here because of Amazon. And similarly, Kick.com, while also unprofitable, has very close ties to the crypto casino website Stake.com, which has allowed Kick to have a budget, like Twitch does with Amazon. But how does Kick remain alive when they only take 5% of their streamers' profits? The platform doesn't have videos, their value as a platform for advertisers is significantly smaller than Twitch, and Kick doesn't have a corporate entity like Amazon or Google paying these bills. Unless the owners of Kick happen to also be the owners of Stake.com, a website that used to pay Adin Ross close to $1 million a week to play and promote their casino games on Twitch, while he would get his young audience to become invested in these same games. I mean, there really is no other explanation for why a site like Stake would pay a streamer that much money to play a game that only profits because players lose, because they lose the games. That's how these gambling sites make money, obviously. A streamer with a bunch of money might look like they're having fun playing this gambling game, but your audience always loses. The odds are never in your favor, and the more you lose, the more you want to go back and make that money that you lost initially. Now, would it seem interesting if I told you that that same streamer, Adin Ross, suddenly became a massive supporter of Kick earlier this year?
Twitch is done. Done. If I told you guys how many streamers are in my DMs wanted to come to Kick, every streamer.
In the time since, Adin has told everybody that Kick had little to no terms of service. He showed Pornhub uncensored to his audience on stream. He streamed himself watching the Super Bowl illegally, and he self-admittedly had multiple Nazis on his stream.
Having like Nazis on his stream.
I stopped having Nazis. I stopped doing it.
Alright, but you still were doing it, dude, and you were fucking...
All of this happened on Kick way longer than it needed to, but they refused to ban Adin for the longest time just because they wanted to be the site that is cool. It doesn't have any terms of service. You can gamble, you can swear, you can watch porn. Of course, that sounds cool to the people who want to stream on Kick, but once they actually go too far with the idea of having no terms of service, then your site is just a shithole. You can do anything you want. So as you can see, there's not a lot of value for advertisers on the site. Kick isn't making money off of their streamers, so there's really only one way that they can stay afloat, and that is if Stake.com stays afloat. And if you have a streaming site like Kick that shows slots and casinos as the second largest category on their site, with the biggest streamers literally playing games on Stake.com, you can see how this site is massively funded by gambling. And gambling is massively funded by addiction. Now, as I said before, Twitch did not fully ban gambling on their site, but just unlicensed sites in the US. But the slots category on Twitch is now the 23rd category, which makes it much less prominent and dangerous than it is on a site like Kick, where it's the second option on your homepage. Again, the reason why streamers gamble on these sites is because they get paid by the sites to gamble, so they can bring their audience to those sites so they can gamble. And guess what? Your audience always loses. People want to equate a real life casino's regulations to something like stake.com, and it could not really be further from the truth. An online crypto casino is infinitely more accessible to underage people and addicted gamblers than a normal real life casino is. It's not as hard when these games are the click of a button away. These websites are parasitic and they suck the life out of desperate people. They end lives, and it sucks. Now, this past week, popular streamer XQC accepted a $100 million deal to stream on Kick's platform. This deal made history as XQC has signed the 12th largest sports contract of all time, even above LeBron James, the King, LeBron. And this deal is an exclusive, which means he's still allowed to stream to his audience and make money on Twitch. But does he really have that much of an incentive to stream on Twitch besides to bring people over to Kick, the platform that's paying him $100 million to be there? And not only that, but Kick is paying 95% of every subscription to XQC rather than Twitch, where he had an exclusive deal and he was probably only making 70%. The only real reason at this point for XQC to stream on Twitch is literally just to funnel viewers over to Kick. Now, a deal of this magnitude has brought a lot of eyes to Kick. On one hand, it's good that Twitch is being challenged as a platform that has monopolized the streaming space. But on the other hand, this $100 million deal to XQC was only possible because of the money that Stake makes, which is straight from the hands of people who lose money to these dog shit websites. Just play a video game. Just play a video game. This doesn't even look fun. How long until we're going to stop pretending that this Bejeweled game is fun to look at? It's not fun to look at. Go gamble on your own, do what you want to do, but promoting and spreading that shit to other people is selfish, and it puts you in a position where you're profiting off of the addiction of your viewers so you can fuel that addiction for yourself. I'll say it again. I don't give a shit if you gamble. It's not like a sin on its own, but Kick only exists to fund stake.com so they can pay out $100 million to the most popular streamer, only with the hope that they profit off of the success of that streamer. How else is Kick going to run with XQC if they are not profitable? But the bottom line is that profiting for stake.com is directly from the money that their users lose. It is very clear what the goal of kick.com is, yet people still want to pretend that it is just another bad corporation that has bad business practices, when this is definitely a more extreme case. Yes, of course we should challenge Twitch to treat their streamers better. But is Kick really the best solution? Or are these streamers actively exposing their viewers to a platform that directly profits off of when their viewers start playing these crypto casino games and inevitably lose their money? Now, all of this may sound super reasonable to you, or maybe you think I'm like an Amazon stan secretly and I'm trying to prop up Twitch. But I think both platforms suck ass. I think YouTube sucks ass. I don't think any streaming platform right now is doing this in a way that should actually make us as creators like feel comfortable with it. But let's get to where our story technically starts. I wanted to talk about a lot of the arguments that different creators are having on the platform with each other, but actually initially explaining Kick took so long, so let's move along. Hello, hold on one second there. Let's talk about the sponsor of today's video, Casetify. I know a lot of you are really sad out there because you don't have a phone case that protects your phone and shows off your personality and who you are. I know. Oh, well, boy, do I have a solution for you, because I used to be just like that. But then I partnered with Casetify and I got to see what it was really like to have that kind of phone case. Casetify is the world's most popular tech accessory brand, making phone cases that keep your phone safe and stylish. And as you can see, I've got my own custom Casetify cases. I have 3 different colorways. It's a nickisnotgreen Casetify case, and it's got a bunch of art of friends of mine and all these references to my channel. Casetify is all about self-expression. They have hundreds and hundreds of designs to choose from for your phone case, and they allow me to do whatever I want with my case, whether I want some cool art on it, or if I want to put like my initials on it, or if I just want something that's simple and shows off the color of my phone. Not only are they stylish, but they're also protective. Casetify cases can protect your phones for drops of up to 11.5 feet. I'm gonna put on one of their impact cases right now and try a drop test live. Well, not live, but good as new, I never have to worry about it. Who wants a case that says barf on it? I do. Whether you want to make your own design or you want to find one online, Casetify has got so many options for you. And let's talk about Casetify's global creative hub, where they have partnered with countless amounts of independent artists online to create some of the coolest cases you've ever seen. Some of my favorite cases are from the global creative hub. And there are so many variations of cases, and you don't need a big old brick on your phone to make sure that it doesn't break. So if you want to have a cool and protective phone case just like me, go to casetify.com/greenisnotnick to get 15% off of your order. Thank you to Casetify for sponsoring this video. Let's get back to the fun. In the past week, streamers and viewers alike argued over how bad Kick really is compared to the other live stream platforms in the game. Now, the other day, Pokimane, a huge Twitch streamer, got in hot water on Twitch because she said this during one of her streams.
Nope. No, and it's not because I got like $10 million. It's just because I'm good as I am. Why would I compromise my morals and ethics for more money when I have money? Something about that is so cringe to me personally.
Now, this got popular for two reasons. The main reason is because a lot of people think that it's unfair to compare the moral good and bad of working with these sites. Obviously, we're talking about Twitch and Kick. Kick may be a platform where the purpose is to get more people to use stake.com, and that's bad. But as long as people are streaming on Twitch, which is owned by Amazon, you can't really criticize the Kick streamers because Amazon is just as bad. And honestly, there is a lot of nuance, but that is the crux of the argument right there. Is it morally questionable to stream on Kick instead of Twitch? Are we allowed to criticize those who move to Kick if they decide not to gamble on the site still? Or is Twitch equally bad, getting people to pay for Amazon Prime and move to the e-commerce website, while Amazon itself already has a myriad of problems that we don't want to be connected to at all? And the other reason why I think this got as popular as it did is because it's specifically about Pokimane. Every time she seems to speak up against a group of gamers for an opinion that shouldn't even be that risky to have, the internet blows up and starts like a massive hate campaign against her. The streaming fan base has never run out of energy when it comes to criticizing Pokimane's actions, even though so many other people are willing to say this stuff and they don't get the same flack. I know that there's going to be people who watch this video who are going to say that I'm just trying to cover for Hassan and Pokimane because I have bias against them or whatever. I don't want to speak for them, but I can at least say that I don't really have a dog in the game. I don't like streaming on Twitch. I don't want to stream there anymore. I would like a better streaming platform, but personally, I do think that Kick was birthed out of something that I don't want to subject my viewers to. And that's my own opinion, and I think that's their opinion too. And it feels like people are angrier than they should be against anyone who has an opinion that maybe Kick isn't the right option for streamers to move to. I'm not here to judge whether or not people are allowed to shit on Pokimane or Hassan or Charlie or whoever else. I am just giving my honest take on the situation. I don't have a bias towards some corporation above me hoping that I shit on Kick because I want to make money or shit on those other streamers somehow. So basically everyone gets in this big debate over whether or not Kick is any different than streaming on YouTube or Twitch. Obviously, there are countless nuances to this conversation, but that seems to be the main thing that people are upset about. So Hassan comes to Pokimane's defense and says, hey, the goal of Kick is to create a platform where websites like stake.com are allowed while paying streamers like XQC so they can get more people on the site, and eventually some of those people trickle into the casino games that are inevitably funding Kick to bring even more people in. And XQC, the guy who just got paid $100 million to stream on Twitch, is of course not too happy about these claims. XQC and his fan base kind of come from the angle that people like Hassan and Pokimane are trying to come off as morally superior to him because he took that deal on Kick. Now, XQC says he doesn't really understand how Kick is linked to gambling, and he also thinks that Pokimane and Hassan have like a personal grudge against him and Trainwrecks TV because they led the anti-gambling conversation on Twitch last year. A lot of people during this whole discourse tried to make it their mission to make it seem like Hassan and Pokimane have like an ulterior motive to tell people that gambling's bad, even though either of them could easily profit off of gambling and would never have to face any consequences for it. Now, I feel like they're obviously just talking about this because of how dangerous online gambling is, especially to audiences of underage kids who look up to streamers like this. But a shit ton of people came to XQC's defense to say that Pokimane and Hassan are like the Karens of the internet, and they really only want to talk about this so they can act like they're morally superior to those who stream on Kick. A big part of this discussion really feels like it's just people claiming that Hassan and Pokimane are grifters who want to pretend like they're progressive, but in reality, they work for a company that's owned by Amazon, which apparently is just as bad as stake.com. Now, I'm not going to dive like way too into the weeds on this one, at least in this video, because there's a lot of back and forth and I got to put this video up today, but let's speed run it. XQC subtweets Pokimane yesterday by saying, flexing your morals and ethics on other people around you comes from pure insecurity, nothing else. Then Pokimane and XQC get on a call, and XQC defends his deal with Kick, saying that they are an innovator to the streaming space and a necessary competitor to Twitch. Of course, people agree that Twitch is a very bad platform and competition is necessary in order to make Twitch grow. It just depends on whether or not Kick is the right platform to do that. And all of a sudden, we have creators on every side of the internet giving their takes on this thing, from someone like Mudahar, some ordinary gamers, to someone like Ryan Beard. And it was very surprising to see just how many creators stepped up and made the claim that Kick really isn't any worse than Twitch. I'm adding this in just because I know this is going to become a topic of discussion, but there's always people that show up whenever we start talking about the objective net good or bad of something. And I think a lot of people will come in and go, obviously Amazon is doing more bad to the world than stake.com. And I would say, yeah, I agree, but proportionally to their size. Now, someone tweets about what Pokimane said on this stream that set so many people off and made them so angry, and Pokimane quote tweets this and says that people just want something to be mad about. This isn't really a controversial thing to say. Los Pollos TV, who is the king of debating, quote tweets this and says that Pokimane insulted an entire platform and that she's implying that she's better than Kick streamers and she's just a bitter, nasty, unpleasant person. I think it's a little dramatic to assume that people who stream on Kick are like gonna care about what Pokimane thinks of them, but you'd be surprised. A lot of people care about what she thinks about them. Then we have Austinox, who's Hassan's editor and a Twitter user that sometimes gets himself and Hassan in a lot of trouble. He quote tweets this and tells Los Pollos that Pokimane wasn't saying that. Anyone who streams on Kick is working for an illegal gambling subsidiary, selling out their audience for a cash grab. He calls them bad people and says that you're a moron if you need it explained to you that Kick is funneling viewers into gambling on stake. Or you aren't a moron and you're just getting paid enough to pretend that you don't. Now, popular YouTuber Moist Critical, aka Charlie or Penguin Zero or whatever, comes in with a quote tweet to Oxtonox. Can't say it fast enough. He comes in with a quote tweet to Oxtonox's tweet, basically saying that it doesn't make sense to criticize Stake over Twitch and Amazon. Amazon's an evil company too, and receiving subs on Twitch directly sends money to Amazon. He says that Stake isn't technically advertised on Kick, but Amazon is advertised on Twitch. Therefore, if you stream on Twitch, you're still subjecting your viewers to Amazon.com, the e-commerce website. And this seems to be the take at the center of this whole debate. Kick funneling viewers towards unlicensed gambling crypto casino websites is not that much different from Twitch funneling viewers towards Amazon. Now, the main reason why I take issue with this opinion is mostly based off the fact that I think there is a massive difference between potentially sending your viewers to an e-commerce site like Amazon that everyone and their mother uses versus sending people to a crypto casino online gambling website that underage kids have access to, and it can massively feed into very unhealthy and destructive addictions. The fact that people can't seem to find the difference between funneling your viewers into a potentially very dangerous addiction versus sending them to one of the most popular fucking websites in the world, I can't seem to wrap my brain around this opinion. Yes, Amazon is a huge piece of shit corporation. Yes, they do a lot of things that I believe infringe on human rights, but Amazon exists as a service to provide accessibility and ease of use to its users. You pay Amazon and you receive something in return. Despite the fact that there are massive problems surrounding that, there is a product to sell. On the other hand, Stake does not exist out of a need to make people's lives easier. They profit solely off of the fact that their users are losing money to their games, mostly out of an addiction to keep on gambling so they can make back the money they lost. It's fucking depressing. And Kick as a platform will not die because they have the money to buy out huge streamers like XQC, bring them onto their platform, funnel people back into stake.com, and come out with a profit at the end of the day despite whether or not Kick actually turns any of that profit. They are willing to give you 95% of your subs because that's not their goal. Their goal isn't to make money off their subs. Their goal isn't to make money off of advertisers. The goal is to make a shit load of money off of gambling, which is feeding off of people's desperation to win back money that they lost to their site. And you can put the responsibility on gambling addicts all you want, but the fucking people you watch, the Twitch streamers you're watching, are gambling addicts. You think people like XQC and Aiden Ross aren't given millions of dollars to gamble on these sites? It's because they want to win back the money. That's what the addiction is all about. But when they're getting paid to do it and the audience is not, then you are literally just subjecting your audience to losing money. And if you think that that is worth it for you to jump over to Kick because maybe they have looser rules or maybe they give you more of a split on your subs, you can bring your audience over to Twitch. You're allowed to stream there. No one's going to stop you. But I think as a creator, as a streamer, it is your responsibility where you send your audience, the position that you put these people in who support your lifestyle and your career. There is a crystal clear difference between the way that Kick promotes gambling versus the way that Twitch does it. You just cannot deny that fact. Kick's user base is largely made up of people who are gambling. It doesn't matter if Kick's goal is to inevitably move farther away from that. That is still the end game of how they're going to make their money. Because even if they do take a 50-50 split like Twitch does, they're still going to lose money, which is why they threw the whole thing away in the first place. The reason why it seems like sites like Kick are taking care of their streamers is because they have extra cash flow coming from the people gambling on their site. I don't know how many times I have to explain that a pipeline to online crypto gambling is worse than a pipeline to an e-commerce site that everyone in the world fucking uses. I hate Twitch, I hate Amazon, but I wish there was a better option. Kick is not the option. Now, the back and forth obviously doesn't stop there. There are hours of discussions waiting to be had between different content creators and viewers alike, but I think a lot of that debate has become pretty useless and convoluted when it comes to helping us actually understand the root of this problem and why people are upset about it. Charlie responds to Ostenok saying that Stake isn't technically advertised on the site, so we shouldn't be that critical of streamers who don't stream gambling on Kick. But again, I can go to kick.com and click on a fucking chess stream, and I still have two different people on stake.com getting promoted to me on the sidebar. Despite whether or not you have big flashy advertisements on your page, Kick is still a site that serves to advertise gambling to people. That is the goal. If their goal is to create a new environment that makes streamers happy, then they wouldn't spend $100 million fucking dollars on XQC. They'd actually spend it on growing a community that has a good foundation there. But that's not where the money is. The money is in gambling. It's always going to be in gambling. Now, Charlie tweet and tweet again wants to make the argument that Stake and Amazon are both bad, and we can't criticize one without criticizing the other. And I just don't agree with this stance. I think that you'd have to be very ignorant to say that Kick is making an effort to stop viewers from becoming addicted to this evil business model. And no, I don't think it's the same thing as Amazon. I don't know how else I can explain that both of these sites are bad, but Kick is miles and miles worse. And every big streamer that goes to Kick and promotes it is going to make a way bigger splash than literally any streamer going on Twitch and nobody having any idea that they're on the website. Amazon is in a position where if you are a streamer on Twitch, you practically mean nothing to Amazon, whether or not you are streaming on their website. They don't give a shit. None of that is going to change the way that Amazon does working conditions, whether or not we decide to go to a fucking platform like Kick. I truly think that people who stream on Kick just actively ignore the bad because they get to make more money even if it's putting your audience in a dangerous position. Of course, I don't think that any of the people in this story are objectively bad or objectively good or are making a point that is objectively true or false. But make an opinion for yourself and think about something for 2 seconds before you go watch the debates online where people are just talking about bullshit for hours and hours. But I guess that's my job. I talk about bullshit for hours and hours. So I'm going to stop this video right now because it's Friday. I want to put this video out today. But if you guys are interested in hearing me talk more about this, I definitely find this whole situation fascinating. I would like to go over more of the opinions on the whole thing. It would be fun to cover maybe some of the debates that are happening online. But let me know in the comments below. We'll see where we're at next week. Maybe we'll come back around. I am very sure that I did not get to touch on every aspect of this fight. I know there's going to be people coming into this video that are going to ask, what about this? What about that? Comment it below. I'm going to be reading the comments and maybe I'll come back and make some responses on Monday. Thank you for watching this video. Thank you for watching me. I've had a lot of people show up lately on this channel. It's the best it's ever done. So welcome. If you're here, I am very excited that you're here and you should watch more of my videos. I also have a few other channels. They'll all be linked below. I do a lot of different things in different places, so come check it out, okay? Go check me out on Instagram at nickisnotgreen. I ask people questions about video ideas all the time. I'm always reading message requests, even if I don't post them, I swear. Oh, and I have another channel, He Said Us, that I've been making videos on that people have been watching, so I'll go link to that channel also. That's everything. Thank you, everybody. Goodbye. I'm going away. I'm gonna go in the closet now.